As we continue to study what Jesus gave his disciples as an end-time prophecy in Matthew 24, we're going to come to verses 6 through 8 of Matthew 24, which is in a sense the beginning of what's going to be happening during the tribulation time. Remember, Jesus and his disciples are sitting on the Mount of Olives, and they have approached Jesus and asked him, what is going to be like at the time of the end? And what will be the signs of your return? And Jesus is going to give them all the prophecy, all what is going to happen at the end. But he gives them a warning at the beginning. He said, watch out. Be aware that there's going to be deception. A lot of deception at the beginning of the tribulation, because there's going to be people coming in, false Christ, and going to say, I am the Christ, and they're going to take a group, and there's going to be another false Christ that comes and says, I am the Christ, and people will follow after him. So deception is going to be the beginning. Just before the tribulation times starts, there's going to be deception. And we have to be aware of that. The church needs to be in preparation for what's coming, and especially for the deception that's going to come. Another thing, we also want to stress that Jesus is giving this prophecy to the disciples who will be commissioned by Jesus. These men will be commissioned by Jesus to begin the church and to go and tell others what he has taught them, and to make disciples who will in turn teach it to others. And these disciples began the church, and they taught the people. They made disciples, and all that Jesus had taught them, they taught it to the disciples. And Matthew 24 was a teaching given to the church and to these disciples to give to the church. So we have to take it very seriously that this is a warning, this is a teaching for us, the church today, this generation, who might be the last generation, and who must also be prepared for what is going to come at the time of the end. And Jesus is telling us right here in Matthew 24, be prepared, there's going to be deception. And look what's coming next as I read verses 6 through 8. You will hear of wars and rumors of war, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still not to come. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. There will be famine and earthquake in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pain. This is just the beginning of what's coming upon the earth at the time of the end. It's going to be a horrible time, as we will continue to see. But there's going to be many things that Jesus is going to tell, where there's going to be other times in the book of Revelation and by the apostles and the prophecies in the old time that needs to be brought in to really confirm all that Jesus will be telling them. This is not just one time that Jesus said. It is said in many other times. And when you bring all those teachings together, you will really get a good idea of what Jesus is teaching here. I have written this book, Mud on the Eyes of a Blind Man, where I searched for all the other places following Matthew 24 and seeing all the other teachings, all the other revelation, all the other verses that confirm everything that Jesus is teaching here. Because there's a lot in order to bring it together and see the big picture of the tribulation time. And I have put it all together in this book, Mud on the Eyes of a Blind Man, so that the church can see what's really going to happen at the time of the end. And as Jesus says it right here, is going to begin with a horrible time to this world. Wars and rumors of war, great destruction and death and horrible thing coming. And as we continue in our teachings, we will see what each of those situations means as the Lord continues to teach the disciples about the time at the end.